The work had not yet been done, so that clause is designed to get these hands on that check. Let me show you the numbers. Okay, our agreed upon price, $172,000 in Los Angeles, California, 4-unit building in a decent area, $172,000, that's low. Why did I get it so low? Because it was vacant. The owners had walked away from it, didn't want it anymore. Nobody else saw the value in it, except for me and my students and my kids. All right. Insurance assignment, we went to escrow. They gave us checks. One of those checks was $47,235.04. There's 4 cents on that too. I'll never forget that 4 cents. But why did we get that money? That was free money. Why did we get it? Because we asked for it. We asked for it. And the way that we ask for things is through clauses in our contracts. This building was owned by a bank. The bank had taken it back. They didn't even know they owned it. And they didn't know that the work had not yet been done. They signed off on it. I got $47,235.04 because of it. The basic reason is because we asked for it. And the way that we ask for things in real estate is through clauses in our contracts. And you've got to have a contract, it's a powerful contract, with the clauses in it that make you money. You guys agree? Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to show you a contract like that. I'll show you in a minute. Brought our effective purchase price down to $125,000. We fixed up this property. Oh man, the average person would have spent $50,000 fixing this property up. We fixed up the entire property inside and out for less than $24,000. You guys want to know how we do those kinds of things? I don't believe you. I didn't hear no people. You guys want to know how we do those kind of things? The reason, I'll show you later. Toward the end, I'm going to go into some rehab stuff. You've got to hang up to see that. You're going to see why we saved $25,000 fixing this building up. And this is some simple stuff. You can do it. Total cost, $149,000. We sold it for $293,000, and there's our profit, $140,000. How many of you like to make that kind of profit? Okay. What would you do with it? Would your life change? You know? Maybe you find yourself living in that better neighborhood. Maybe build a house on the hill overlooking the ocean. But you know what? What if you didn't make that whole 140? What if you had made half of that? $70,000. How could that change things? Maybe you find yourself living in a better neighborhood with a better school district. Maybe sending your kids to a better school. Or maybe you're able to help out friends and family because, you know, people are hurting these days for money. And maybe they need a little hand up. But there's so much that you can do with this kind of profit and these kinds of properties, and they are all over the place. They're very, very large. They're all over the place. So one thing I want you to ask yourself this. Was it simple? What I just showed you, was that simple? Yes? Yeah. Did it make money? Yeah. Can you do it? Can you do it? That's the main question. Can you do it? And I will answer you, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can. I've heard that one before. Now, here's something. You know, investors, they leave a lot of money on the table, mainly because they don't even know about how to write up a proper contract. And so I've done that. How many of you ever heard of Al Lowry? Dr. Albert Lowry? Anybody ever heard of him? Yeah. Yes. He is the guru's guru. He and I sat down and we crafted out the most powerful contract in the world. And so what we do now is we make sure that our students are able to capitalize on the fact that we have a vacant, distressed, abandoned property. We have all kinds of ways that we can do creative financing. And so we want a very powerful contract. Investors leave money on the table. I don't want you leaving any money on the table unless you know that you're doing it and you do it on purpose, not by accident. I want to tell you about Jeff. Jeff bought this little property over on Sycamore. This was, as you can see, it was boarded up. It was vacant, it was distressed, and it was abandoned. They had walked away from it. And so the contract that he used had this clause in it, substitution of collateral. I'm going to tell you about it, then I'll tell you how we use it. So Jeff fills out the contract. He got owner financing on this property. Submitted the contract, the owner signed it, with the substitution of collateral clause and the other 19 money-making clauses all embedded in the contract. And so now he goes after another. This one is Jeff's now, under that contract, owner financing. Now he goes after another one. He finds this one on Palisades. Nice little abandoned property. Somebody walked away from it. You never know why. Who knows why brown cow eats green grass and gives white milk? If you like milk, you just drink it, don't you? And if you like profits, you just work the system. And so Jeff, he fills out a similar contract, same contract, and he presents it with different figures, of course. And the owner says, no, I don't want to owner finance this. You're going to have to get some money. You have to go find some money and give me some money, and then, you know, but I'm not going to owner finance it. So now, most investors are stuck right there. You know, the word is, all my money's tied up, I had to let that deal go. The word is, couldn't get the financing and fell in a crack. No. Vacant, distressed properties lend themselves so well to creativity. Here's what we're going to do. With the substitution of collateral clause, that clause allows us to go back to that first property that we put under contract, lift the lien off the property, thus rendering that property free and clear of all liens. Now, when you lift the lien off the property, do you have to put it back on something else as real estate? And the answer is no, you don't have to. But it can be real estate. You can put it on a house, or you can put it on an apartment building, commercial. You can even put it on a vacant lot. But it doesn't have to be real estate at all. It can be a fur coat, it can be a car, it can be a boat, whatever the owner, the previous owner, feels is strong enough to secure his interest in that previous property that Jeff did. So he lifts the lien off the property. Now he can refinance that property, pull all the money out that he needs to continue his investing. How many investors do you know that are stuck? Good deal comes along and they can't even free up enough capital to get involved in that deal. Jeff did. And he did it with that contract with the 19 money-making clauses in it. The value of this property is $237,500. Paid $121 for it. The rehab work was $37,000, and Jeff made over $79,000. That was a property that other people would have walked away from. Wouldn't you have walked away from that property? You can't pull that money out. Can't get owner financing. You don't have $237,000 in your pocket. Creativity. And that's what the abandoned property system is all about. You guys want another one? I'll show you another one. This is Ryan and Rebecca. Now we know that when you go to get a loan from a bank, the lenders are going to make their money based on points and interest. And if you go out there and you hit a home run with an abandoned property, and you go to the bank with all this cash and you plop it on their desk, I want to pay my loan off, they're going to get mad at you. They're going to charge you something. You guys know what it is? It's called a prepayment penalty. And it can be thousands and thousands of dollars. But you're dealing with an abandoned property, you're dealing with my contract with the 19 money-making clauses, you will not pay a prepayment penalty. How about a prepayment discount? Wouldn't you rather have a discount than to pay a penalty? So here's the way that works. Ron and Rebecca, they went out there, they found an abandoned property, they purchased the home study course in 2 days. They found a nice abandoned property. They put it under contract. Now this clause was in the contract. The clause, this is the prepayment discount clause, and it says, in the event that the note is paid in full during the first blank number of years of its term, and they chose 5 years, the maker shall be entitled to a blank % discount from the remaining balance. Who chooses a term? Who chooses a discount? You do. You do. You do. Now, the seller has to okay it, but you choose it. So the seller signed this contract. Signed the contract with the prepayment discount in it. The price that they paid for that property was $165,000. Owner financing 100%. They had to come up with not one dime out of their pockets. No credit, no job, no money at all. Owner financing on a distressed property. Common thing. They hired a handyman. The handyman did the minor repairs, carpet paint, landscape yard, charged them $3,500, and charged them $3,000, but decided to take $3,500 because he's going to wait until they sell the property. They have no money. So now that brings it up to $168,500. They sold this property for $247,000 in 2 months, made a profit of over $75,000. Is that a pretty good profit? Very good. Yeah. How many of you guys are still with me? Yeah. Yeah. But you know, like they say on late night TV, but wait, there's more. Okay, remember that prepayment discount clause in that contract, and it calls for 15% discount over the $165,000. That means that they paid this loan off, they get 15% of that $165,000 back. Another $24,750. Add that to the $75,000 initial profit, they almost made $100,000. And that's what I expect in an abandoned property. I expect anywhere from 80 to 100, maybe a little over 100,000. That's what we expect from abandoned properties. Sometimes we end up around 60, and that's okay. The worst that I ever did was $17,000, and that was a huge mistake that I made probably in the first year of my career. That's the worst I've ever done. I've seen people make as much as $394,000 on one abandoned property. That was the max that I've ever seen in my 27 years. Okay, so let's move on. You heard me talking about a contract. There's a copy of the contract. In your home study course, there are two different contracts. One of them is for you to make a lot of copies of and fill out and get out there. That's where you're going to buy your properties. The other is for your education. The one that's for your education is on the screen right now. And at the top it says Standard Real Estate Purchase Contract and Receipt for Deposit. There's nothing standard about this contract. Let's say you're filling out the contract and you come to a section where you don't really understand. Let's say here, it says number 5, additional financing terms are as follows, and there's 3 lines. You don't know what to put there. You don't sweat, because you simply flip a few more pages to the explanation section in your home study course. Here's the copy from the explanation section, and then you simply look for the number of the paragraph that corresponds to the paragraph in your contract that you're having trouble with. There it is, number 5. And it tells you what to do. It says use this area to describe any other financing terms, such as seller to carry a second mortgage or buyer to purchase property subject to the first mortgage. And so all the clauses are there. 19 money-making clauses. You use this contract, you're making money. You don't have to remember what all the clauses are. The beauty about it is that they're all embedded in the contract. So as you're using the contract, you're learning the clauses. One day you'll find yourself without the contract, but you learn those clauses. And you can write out a contract on a napkin and present it to the owner, and it's legal. Okay? So as you're using the home study course and you're using the contract, you're making money and you're learning about the contract at the same time. So very, very important that you take advantage of the tools that are available to you. You know, I've mentioned home study course a couple of times. How many of you think that at the end of the evening I have a home study course that I want to sell? Yeah. Well, I'm going to disappoint you. But I'm not going to disappoint the rest of you, I promise that. Well, you know what, guys, let's get serious just for a moment. I have you for a very short period of time. And first I want to teach you about how we make money with abandoned, distressed, and vacant properties. We make a lot of money doing it. Then we're going to take a little break. Then we're going to come back and I'm going to teach you how to take that money that you just made with abandoned properties and earn 50% or more on that money. So this is a complete, total, comprehensive evening that I'm spending with you, but I don't have you for a whole week that I can teach you 27 years of my experience. So for the short time that we have together here, I can take that time and I can show you what we do to make money with vacant, distressed properties. But in order to show you how we do it, I have to put it in the form of a home study course. And therefore you take it home and you study, and when you have questions, you call me on the phone and I help you with those questions. But that's how you do it. And I'm sure you'll agree with me that there's a huge, huge difference between knowing what to do and knowing how to do it. By show of hands, how many of you agree with me? Okay. Very, very true. And so that's why we put things together in the form of a home study course. And so you're looking at that right there. You cannot excuse your way to success. Stop making excuses for what you haven't done. You have no excuse. I'm going to show you a man right now that could have made an excuse, but he didn't. He made money instead. Young man comes to a seminar. His name is Chad Hazen. And Chad heard something that really sparked his interest, and he rushed to the back. Well, I wouldn't say rush. He went to the back, along with his helper, and he purchased a home study course. Chad is blind. He's a blind man. He did not make an excuse. He could have made an excuse, couldn't he? Oh, home study course, you got to read. I can't read, I'm blind. So therefore, I'm just going to sit and lick my wounds. He could have done that, but he chose not to. And see, what I'm trying to impart to you right now is this, that when you are committed to a change, doors open up to you. Opportunities present themselves to you. The right person comes into your life at the right time. The right opportunity presents itself. That's what we're talking about. So Chad, he was committed to a change in his life, and the ideas flowed to him. He went and he hired someone to read the information to him. And so they would read the information, and Chad would take notes in Braille. And if they were reading too fast, he'd slow them down. If they were too slow, he'd speed them up. If they read a word that he didn't understand, he stopped them, had them look up the word. Now he has that word in Braille in his notes. Chad is on a mission to change his life. Now he hires someone to drive him around and look at the various properties and become his eyes, telling him what they see. In his first deal, Chad made himself $14,400 on his very first deal. Chad's 100% blind. What is your excuse? I'm too busy watching television. You know, if you're not watching something that will teach you how to make money, and you have dreams and aspirations, financial, that you haven't reached yet, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Become committed like Chad did. You will find the doors will open for you. You will find the pathways will illuminate for you. I can't explain it, but that's just the way it works. So don't make excuses. Make money instead. You don't want me to stick knuckles on you. That's my buddy Knuckles. All right. Now, I mentioned about doing rehab and how we can save a lot of money on rehab. I'm going to run through this real quickly, just kind of give you an idea of what we're talking about, okay? Now, when we buy a house, let's say we want to do a remodel, we want to put, we have maybe a whole bunch of bathrooms and a big kitchen, and we want to put tile in, ceramic tile, but tile becomes expensive. So we choose linoleum for the floor and formica on the countertops. Here's what's going to happen. You rent it out, your tenants are going to tear it up. They love to leave irons on formica and on linoleum. I don't know why. Odd irons, that is.
And on carpet, too.
And on carpet, too. But if you use that, the tenants are going to tear it up. And then if you decide you want to sell it, you're not going to get quite as much value out of it as if you had ceramic tile. Ceramic tile, you rent it, they're not going to tear it up. You sell it, you're going to get a little bit more value. But the problem is that ceramic tile is so much higher than linoleum. Isn't that right? So much more expensive. Aren't you glad I'm here tonight? I want to show you something, guys. All right. You walk into a big tile store. Now, all tile stores don't have this, but you got to seek them out. Most of them do. Walk into a big tile store, there's a big, beautiful display in the front. You look at that display, oh, beautiful tile, but it's $10 a square foot. You walk right past that display. Walk out to the back, to the storage area, and you ask the guy out there if he's got any closeouts. Of course. Closeouts. They're not going to carry this line anymore. They want to close them out, so they take them out to the storage area. Now, you got that big house and you need 400 square feet of tile. At $10 a square foot, you're going to pay $4,000 just for the tile itself. You go to the storage area. Ask the guy for closeouts. Make sure you get enough for your job, because if you don't have enough, you can't come back and get any more. But look at your savings. I don't pay any more than 69 cents a square foot for my tile, and that tile looks very, very much like that beautiful tile in the display for $10 a square foot. So you just paid $4,000. I'm paying less than $300 for all my tile. And my place looks as good as yours. Is that a simple thing? Does it make money?
Yeah.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that last part. You said, yeah! I just saved $3,724. That's just one little idea. If you read my bio, you would know that I take $15,000, $20,000 deals and I kick them up to $60,000, $70,000. Because I know how to do it. And this is just one of the ways that we do it. Just one of the ways. I've documented it. It is in your course, how to do these kinds of rehabs and stop giving all your money away, all your profits away. You don't have to do that. It's easy, it's simple, makes money, and you can do it. So now, you now know that you can make a lot of money with abandoned properties. You can do it with owner financing where you don't need money, credit, nor job, because the banks won't lend on them anyway, so the owner's got to finance them. And you can do it with very little competition. I want to share with you now how we can take on the largest financial partner in the entire world. You know what it is?
Government, U.S.
Yeah, it's the U.S. government. Fannie Mae's part of it, it's the U.S. government. There are all kinds of different grants, and I'm sure you've heard of government grants. But have you heard of corporation, foundation, and agency grants? Have you heard of those? This is just another way to get free money or low-cost money for your vacant, distressed property fix-ups. So let's just talk for a moment about corporation, foundation, and agency grants. There's a national grant guide. I put this together for you so that you will have two different government sources. I'll show you the other one later. You've got two different government sources. One of these is National Grant, but National Grant also It's a source for corporation, foundation, and agency grants as well. Here's what you're going to find. You're going to find business grants, business assistance programs, venture capital money, foundation grants, corporation grants, healthcare grants, personal needs grants. I found a grant in there to get your bad teeth fixed. That's personal needs. Now there are phone numbers in here. Had a lady sit down and dial every number that was in here. The numbers that didn't work, we threw them out. The numbers that did work, we kept them in along with the contact names. So you want to keep this work very close to you on your desk. You will be using this to find your grants for your abandoned properties. This is just one of the 2 grant sources that I'll provide for you. You can also get state and federal grants for developing, or you can get funds for substantial rehab, multifamily housing in urban renewal areas, and then this one. Multifamily properties consisting of single-room occupancy. Raise your hands if you've ever heard of the SRO program. Anyone? No one. SRO program. Oh, I've got to tell you about this. You guys got to know about this. Okay. Our government will allow us to take a single property, a multifamily dwelling. They'll allow us to chop it all up and make a whole bunch of little bedrooms. They'll also allow us to take the kitchen and the bathroom and relocate them to a central area where all the bedrooms have access. Got it? Okay. Now, here in Los Angeles, let's say, for instance, we have a 5-unit apartment building. 5-unit building. They're all 1-bedroom units. So we have a living room, a dining room, a kitchen, a bedroom, and a bath. And let's say they're 750 square feet, around 750 square feet. If the average bedroom was 10 by 12, which is 120 square feet, how many 120 square foot bedrooms can we get in a 750 square foot unit? We can get 6. But remember I said earlier, we're going to be very conservative. We won't get 5. We're only going to make 4 bedrooms per unit. Very conservative. They're going to be large bedrooms, but only 4. Here in Los Angeles, under the SRO program, our government will allow us $600 a month for rent per person. But they also allow more than 1 person per bedroom. Even though we have these huge bedrooms, once again, we're very conservative, only 2 people per bedroom, okay? That's it. Let's see where the numbers take us. All right, so $600 a month times 2 people per bedroom, that means that we're making $1,200 per bedroom. How many bedrooms do we have?
4.
We had 4. We could have gotten 6, got 4. So now that means that we're making $4,800 per unit. How many units do we have? We have a 5-unit building. You know what we're making here? $24,000 a month is coming in under the SRO program for this 5-unit building, when the average person with a 5-unit building, you know what they're doing? They're struggling, just trying to make $2,500 a month. They'll be happy settling for $2,000 a month, but they don't know anything at all about the SRO program. They don't know anything about it at all. Now, this is a government program. And with these government programs, the programs are provided for you, the entrepreneur, to use a program for the purpose intended. As you use a program for the purpose intended, you're helping to solve one of America's problems, and you're also helping to keep America strong. Can you imagine one day America slides into the status of a third world country? It's not going to happen, mainly because of these programs. So every one of these programs is designed to solve a problem, a national problem. If you haven't figured it out yet, the SRO program, would you consider the homeless program to be a national problem? That's a problem, isn't it? Now you know the purpose of this program. It's designed to get the homeless people off the street. And if you will simply use the program for the purpose intended, our government guarantees you a huge profit. Much more than you can make in the conventional world. And that's their guarantee to entrepreneurs. That's how they attract entrepreneurs to their programs. This is one program that you need to know about. The SRO program. It will make you very wealthy. Very wealthy.
What does that stand for? SRO?
Single room occupancy. All right, now here's Thomas. I'm going to tell you about Thomas. He was one of my students who became a friend. And he was in one of my seminars, and he was sitting on the edge of a seat most of the night, smoking a lot of notes. I noticed it. And then when I closed, he rushed to the back, and he invested in the abandoned property system. And then he went running out the front door saying, "You'll hear from me, Reggie." Yeah, I heard from him all right. Just a couple months later, he had found this property right here, and he did a nice job of fixing it up, but he did not do a very good job of watching his money. He did not really study the rehab section. He thought it was easy, he knew it. So he didn't even study it. He goes out there and finds this property, 1722 West 110th Place in Los Angeles. And after he fixed it up and sold it, he made himself a little over $21,000. Is that pretty good for a first profit? That's pretty good, huh?